So, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And as you can see in the background, we will go ahead with, we will go ahead with, Liminal Thinking by Dave Gray. So, I quite, before the episode, I asked myself whether I should, first of all record this or the other one, but actually I didn't actually remember what I was doing besides 0 to 1, which is the other book that I'm discussing on the podcast right now or at the moment, because I'm all the time doing 2 books at a time, because for me it is better, and I feel like it's better for you as well, because to change that a little bit up so that there's something for everyone that might be viewing what I'm doing right now. Let's move it like this so that I can't actually see myself and that it is a little bit brighter, because my fucking Google window is so fucking bright that it actually could hurt if I'm sitting here for hours and hours and hours and hours. But we will go ahead with part 2 and what to do about it. So I would highly suggest you to go through the first part I've been recording of this book. You can definitely see it by just viewing the descriptions of the podcast episodes. So not the podcast itself, but the podcast episodes. And there should be always a little summary, and I always just name the book title so that you can actually see, okay, this is the first part and then this is the second part and whatever, so that it is a little bit more convenient for you, and that you can actually have a little bit of an orientation of where you are right now. But I highly suggest you to go through the other one, because I think this is just, quite a fundamental or a basis to what we're going to talk about today. So therefore, to just really get everything out of this one, knowing the other things might actually be a good one, or you go just to the paulminers.com website and go through the summary yourself, which is definitely also an opinion. Do you hear the barking dog? Today is not that a nice weather, to give you another unnecessary information. But practice. The practice first, or the first practice, I don't know. Assume you're not objective. Gray introduces the johari window, which is actually something that we have been discussing in school last year, actually. As a useful tool for liminal thinking. It was created by 2 psychologists aiming to better understand oneself, and here's how to use it. So first, picture a building that has 4 rooms. One room is open, and this can be viewed as the public view. Everything here is known by you, and others know it about you. So I will definitely show you afterwards just an explanation as a graphic or just a picture of it, because I think it is only text. You can definitely not kind of think about it as, I will definitely show it to you afterwards. The second room is hidden. This can be viewed as the private view, and this is the things that people don't know about you, but you know about yourself. The things you choose to conceal from others. So the first one is what you actually know about yourself and what others know about yourself. The second one is what you know about yourself, but others don't. The third room is unknown, also known as the unknown you. This room contains the things that other people don't know about you, and the things that you don't even know about yourself yet. And the final room is called the blind spot. This is the room which contains the things that other people know about you and can identify, but things that you don't know or recognize about yourself. So other people see, maybe, I don't know, if you just a little dirt in your face, other people will see it, but you definitely not, because you're not able to pretty much look at yourself only with a window, not with a window, but a mirror, the johari window. But I will definitely show it to you now, like this one. Yeah, I think you can see it quite well, not that big maybe. So you can see the first upper left corner. So there are 4 windows, or so it's actually called therefore a johari window model, because it is kind of looking like a window. So the first one is the open area or arena, which is the place about the information that you know about yourself and others know about you. Then, to the right, there is the blind spot, where there is something that people know about you, but you don't about yourself. Then the hidden area, which is in the left upper corner, not the left down corner or something, whatever it is called. And this is actually the things that you know about yourself, but others don't. And the final window is the right down corner, which is the unknown, which is, definitely, as we were just talking about just before, the information you don't know about yourself and people also don't know about yourself. But no. So Gray explains that the blind spot is where the issues occur. The blind spot usually contains all of your problems. It's often easy to identify issues in someone else, but hardest to see them within yourself. The blind spot, and therefore, by the way, a lot of people just blame everyone else, and this is something you can definitely see, and especially when you just keep a little bit attention to it. And I would highly suggest you and invite you to do that, because you definitely see, and that's so incredibly and so pretty much overwhelming, kinda, to see that people always, and I'm not just overdoing it, it's quite always, people will give others, will blame others for some shit they fucked up. Or because they think like, I'm the best, and basically not, but they think like, it's not me to be blamed and whatever, and it's his fault and whatever. And I think this is just very, very interesting that, this just appears or occurs so fucking often. The blind spot usually contains all of your problems. It's often easy to identify issues if in someone else, but hardest to see them within yourself. The blind spot will usually contain all of your downfalls and the aspects of self that hold you back. So if you're not willing to look at your own contributions and inputs to the situation as a part of the problem, you won't be able to see it clearly. Your understanding will be distorted, and so will your beliefs. Makes sense. And I think it's definitely very, very interesting, first of all, and second of all, very important to just know who you are, what you're good at. So just the self-awareness thing, a lot of people are spreading it, especially Gary Vee, and I think it's totally right, because if you don't know what you're kind of, what is it called? So what you're made for, basically. This is something that I've been thinking about myself as well. So I quite often just ask myself, what I'm made for. Am I made for just doing what I'm doing right now? Am I made for doing sports? All these different things. And this is definitely something that you should ask yourself as well. And, at my point of view, asking questions to yourself or to other people is just an incredible task you can do, because you get so much information about you and about others. And even though it sounds so fucking obvious, which is, it is fucking obvious, but a lot of people don't see it, I think, and therefore I just wanted to emphasize it a little bit, even only a little bit. But what did I want to say? What did I want to say? Fucking shit. Never mind. Let's go ahead with practice 2. Empty your cup. When he refers to emptying your cup, Gray's meaning that you need to remove all of the theories, knowledge, assumptions, and preconceptions that you currently have. Rid yourself of them before you will be able to learn anything new. View it as starting with a blank slate. Gray explains that in Zen practice, they call this the beginner's mind. In order to take on the beginner's mind, you need to be curious, open, and eager, and you need to be looking for opportunities to learn and develop yourself further. This opening up of your mind, this willingness to feel dumb, to be vulnerable, to in fact rewire your brain in times of change, is the essence of liminal thinking. And I do quite understand why it is important, because quite often we do just pretty much limit ourselves by the knowledge we just have, because it's maybe we're just protecting ourselves. I don't know. And definitely I think, we are basically, at my point of view, kind of protecting ourselves from other information, from things that just might be harming us, even though it's just total shit and they will never harm us, and so on. This is just something that appears quite often in nature. Also with body language, we often think, this is just harmful, and we just, By crossing your arms, you're basically just covering up your most intimate spaces, or just, most vulnerable spaces, to just protect them. It does make sense, but therefore your feelings in your brain change as well, or your feelings just. Practice 3: create safe spaces. Emotions are at the center of our very being, as it's important that our emotional needs are met. And that's totally true. I think that because the body-mind connection is so fucking deep and so fucking wired, it's not only one wire, it's 10,000 fucking wires. It is just incredible that you can even see, for example, something that I've experienced is that quite all the time when I'm ill, and hopefully I won't get, all the time when I'm ill, I just tend to be a little bit more depressive or depressed than I usually am, which sounds a little bit, kind of hard or kind of tough or kind of too much. But, I'm not gonna lie, I do just feel bad sometimes as well. It's not like I'm happy all the fucking time, even though I'm preaching it all the fucking time to other people. It's a funny thing for me. I think I can do I do try to help other people, but helping myself is something completely different. But nevertheless, fucking shit. What's going on with me? I don't know. I've forgotten it. But yeah. Emotional needs. Because, I know it again. Because all the time when I'm just really ill, or just some kind of ill, I tend to be depressed. I don't know whether it's because of I'm actually ill, or because I can't do the things that I want to do, like doing sports, or doing something with my friends or my girlfriend, or doing something else that is just fun for me, or actually doing the episodes. I don't know. Or it's just because I'm ill and my body just knows that I'm ill, and therefore, I don't know, just sends signals to my fucking mind to be fucking depressed. I don't know. It could be true, actually. But the thing is, because it is this way around, it also is the other way around. Therefore, having, an unhealthy body, having a body that is not kind of, that is not kind of satisfying to your brain or to your mind, is definitely as well kind of threatening your health, I think, your mental health, because of this connection. And I do kind of, where did I go? Oh, I just, did the same way around. So if you're having a unhealthy mind, you will probably also feel that your body as well isn't healthy. And you can definitely see it with depression, I think. And I've just read something someday. I don't know if it is true. Just, look it up if you, because I'm actually not sure. Depression actually can change how your body feels. Therefore, you can actually kind of let your body feel like it's burning. It sounds really amazing. Not amazing, but really incredible. Not incredible, but very, very kind of, overdone. Some kind of overdone. But it's actually the truth, or, it should be the truth. I don't know. Gray explains that when people feel valued, they work harder and achieve more. Someone who feels like they are in control will be able to contribute more and take initiative. Someone who is facing emotional fears will not be in a position to work hard and grow. And someone riddled with fear is more likely to hide away, protect the information that they currently contain, and not let anything new in. This restricts growth, development, and happiness. And that's totally true. And this is kind of the same, or the equivalent to the, not the growth mindset, but the fixed mindset. Yeah. This is from the book Mindset. If you are interested in it, I actually did make an episode or a few episodes about this book. I kind of do feel like, okay, I've canceled it, on my way, because I felt like, this is not something that I can do or talk a lot about, because it's so scientific, and there were so pretty much hard to pronounce word in that my whole flow got some kind of fucked, and therefore I just decided once, I think, because I've actually done it twice. The first time I actually did it like, okay, I made one episode and then never again because yeah. But I actually think that there is a full audio version or full video version of this book, but if you're interested in it anyways, just go to the Paul Minus website. I think there's also one, or to thepowermoves.com website, where it's definitely, and this was actually also the website where I have been going through it. So this is from the mindset book. It's a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. The fixed mindset is like, I will never achieve this, I will never learn this, I will never change, this will always be like it is, even though, which is definitely something that kinda drives me crazy, or kinda lets me think like, okay, is this really the truth? Do people really think like this? Because they actually pointed out in the book that some people, or actually quite a lot of people, I think, do think like, okay, this is a certain thing and this will always be the case, whether it's they feeling bad, or whether it's they are not good at something, or whether it is, something else. It seems to be that people really fucking think that because they failed once, or, made once a mistake, they will just be mistaken, or will be just failing all the fucking life long. And it doesn't make any fucking sense, And I hope that, if you're such a person, and if you're just, listening to this, and I do not want to attack you or something, definitely not. But if you're just, hearing this, definitely be conscious about that you are who you are, okay? But it doesn't mean that you can't change. You can definitely change, You do not actually have you have to be the person that you are actually right now. Therefore, you can totally just change in the present, just really immediately right now, or in the future as well. But what was in the past is the past, but dwelling about the past and thinking about the past doesn't make the present better, or doesn't make the future as well not better. It's, most of the time does make it worse, definitely, because you're just dwelling about it and feeling like I don't know, my past was so bad and whatever, but that doesn't make anything better. But yeah. And someone riddled with fear likely to... So to engage in liminal thinking, Gray explains that you need to acknowledge the role that emotions play in the creation of your beliefs. Emotional needs are the very center of our beliefs that transform into habits and actions. And therefore, which is always also something pretty interesting at my point of view, and this was something that I kind of recognized, or that I kind of learned just a few weeks ago, so it's fairly new knowledge, is that a lot of informations are very, very wired, or very, very combined with emotions. So knowledge is deeply wired with emotions, which is definitely true. This is something that Tony Robbins showed me, not personally, but I have seen a video of him, which is generally something I do quite like to do while I'm working on my stuff. Whether I'm doing the posts, or I'm actually uploading the video files, and then whatever I'm doing, I tend to really like to just listen to some podcast episodes, or to some YouTube videos where people actually talk about things, or talk about topics that I'm kind of passionate about, or that I'm kind of interested in. But he was talking about that we actually just really kind of remember knowledge or informations way better if there is any emotion wired to it. And he totally explained it in a very easy but so fucking just confronting and accurate way. He just asked, I think, the interviewee, or the interviewer actually, or the audience, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But he asked her, so the interviewer, let's say the interviewer, he asked her, and I might be just, making something up because I do not know the exact example he made. He asked her, when was your first kiss, and when day was it? And she was like, yeah, it was this day and this month and this year. And then Tony asked, and what did you do two fucking weeks before? He didn't use the fuck, but he asked, what did you do the 2 weeks before? And she was like, I don't know. And if you just think about it yourself, or on yourself, I think it's definitely true. And yeah, sometimes you can just, remember things because they were important. But actually, if they were important, you definitely might have felt some kind of excitement or happiness, or, even something negative. But Therefore, you just remember it. And I think this is something incredible and something that is that I didn't know for so long. But even though it makes sense if you just think about it, but yeah. So the only way that you can really understand what people's motivations are is to create a space that's safe enough for them to come out of their self-sealing logic bubble, to cultivate curiosity and openness, and to give them a feeling of safety. Practice 4, triangulate and validate. Gray believes that the reason we don't see what else is out there is that our own heads are too jam-packed with the obvious. There is no space to explore, and this is why he emphasizes the importance of gathering as many differing theories and ideas as possible, the crazy ones and the ones that seem to contradict your obvious. The crazy ones, and yeah, it's just it's just like you should also gather them as well. So gather these theories, but don't hold to them too tightly. The key is to have them without being attached to them. And when you can achieve this, you are in a better position to ask the right questions and seek validation, allowing you to uncover what is really going around you and what the reality really is. The way to seek understanding is to empty your cup. Step up and give people your full attention, suspend your beliefs and judgments, and listen carefully. Does this have something to do with empathy? Because at my point of view, empathy is really something that is important. Really important. Because if you can really be like, okay, I understand this person, I know how he is feeling or she is feeling, and I understand why he or she is feeling this way. I think this really would cut out racism, would cut out, total judgment, because you're just understanding the other person. You're just feeling with this person. And, at my point of view, if you do just know why, or just think about why this certain person is maybe doing this, because you know how he or she is feeling, and therefore it might be some kind of connection between those two things, you definitely then understand, okay, he is wearing this shirt or that skirt, or she's actually wearing the skirt, or she's wearing that shoes and not this shoes because she's feeling that way, or because she just likes it. And I think you would just totally cut out the judgment, because it's then not about, I don't know, what you are thinking, but what they are thinking, kinda. Practice 5, questions and connections. And Gray's 5th practice is all about asking questions and making connections with others. He explains that you should aim to inquire as much about people as possible. Aim to understand their hopes, dreams, fears, and frustrations. In doing this, you are uncovering the goals and needs of people in the system, the same system that you are in. Doing this will uncover opportunities that you might never have considered. Totally, definitely, yeah. It makes sense, and it is also something so obvious, but it just makes sense, and it is so obvious that people actually forget about it, I think. So by asking questions, you find a liminal in between spaces that people may not have seen or considered. Then, by finding possible intersections between needs and solutions and forming new connections, you can create new opportunities that were already laid in the system, just waiting to be discovered. Totally. Practice 6. Disrupting your routine. Humans are routine creatures. We thrive off doing the same thing day in, day out. And Gray believes that we spend too much time in autopilot mode. And this is actually something that I think reading something about, or just hearing something about. I don't quite remember before. And therefore I just really tended to actually, when I'm riding my bike to the train station or railway station to get to the train, obviously, when I'm commuting to school, I just really was like, okay, today I will just take another route, because I just wanted to change things up. And I think this monotonous stuff really kinda makes the day suck, because if you're doing the same shit over and over and over again, day in, day out, really just all the fucking time. I'm not talking about, okay, you're doing it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but actually for years. Then I understand that you're just, this will just fuck you, and this will just some kind of cripple you as well. Really, if you're just doing the same shit over and over again. I didn't want to do this, or I, pretty much don't want to do this, even though I quite do it as well. So I'm basically, doing the same things every single day, quite. Did I read the whole one? I don't think so. So he describes a situation where you are facing a difficult problem, something that seems unfixable. He believes that solutions often lie in the disruption of routine, and if you start to do things differently, you will be freed to view the problem in a new light, and you will likely realize the way to solve the problem or see that instead of a problem, it's actually an opportunity. Yeah. The thing is, I do not quite understand the psychological reasons or the reasons how to actually change my thinking behind these things, but I hope you are doing, because through the whole reading and trying to pronounce everything as correctly as possible and just speaking clearly so that you can actually listen to it, it kind of limits my ability to really understand what I'm reading. But yeah. So whenever you find yourself stuck in any kind of recurring pattern, try something random. Anything you can do that throws the train off. The rails will create new openings and might help you see the whole situation in a new way. Just do something different. And this is definitely something that I will try out, and then I will just, tell you if this is actually the thing or not. Which is the great thing with all these self-development and, mindset books. You can just, try it out whenever you want. Maybe I'm not having a problem today, but I understand now why he is doing this, and I hope he quite hasn't explained it, because I'm going to explain it right now. The thing is, we all, and my fucking nose is biting a little bit. I'm sorry that I'm always touching my nose. He just said that we humans do just have our patterns. And these patterns are not like, we're doing them once or twice a week, but we're just doing them all the fucking time, as I just also emphasized it a little bit more. And because of that, I think, and I don't know, I'm thinking, but I'm actually just pretty conscious about it, and I pretty believe in it. If you're having a problem and you just stick to your pattern, and your pattern might actually be like, okay, you're having a problem, you're trying to solve it, you aren't able to solve it, and in the first take, you will go away, you will do something else, and you will just be like, fuck this problem, I'm not going to do it again. So this is your pattern. Having a problem, trying it, the first time it didn't work, you just go away. But if you be like, okay, a problem, I'll try to solve it, I'll dance, or I don't know, play music or play a video game, I try it out, or even, I did say try it out, make something else, and then I think you will actually try it out again, because you kind of have the energy to, the energy, or you just, broken up your fucking pattern, and therefore you're just able to, through some kind of way, I don't know, it just would make sense for me, that, it just, creates for yourself the opportunity to do it again or do something different. Like, like doing it again, or actually just, asking a friend, or just something different, because you have just breaking up this pattern. And I think your brain just needs to, actually, it would be intelligent and would be actually pretty good if you just then stick to the problem and try to solve it again, because this is kind of the fucked up part about it, I think, that if you're doing it, you just crack the pattern, you just create a new pattern. This is the thing, because, you just, dance or whatever, and then you try it again, and then whatever. And you create a new pattern, and if you just do it over and over again in this way, you just always have to kind of, change it up. So not always dance, not always, play football or whatever, because you would then just, create another pattern. Practice 7, the double loop learning. The 7th practice is all about acting as if the here and the now, also known as double. So the 7th practice is all about acting as if in the here, as if in there, here, I think in the here and the now, also known as double loop learning. Okay, this sentence doesn't make any sense. So Gray describes the process as challenging your current beliefs, testing out new beliefs and getting yourself out of a rut. He encourages you to test beliefs that you think are one, so one like, the figure. You might be surprised at the results. This paragraph is a little bit fucked up. So in the case of double loop learning, you don't have to believe a hypothesis in order to test it. All you have to do is act as if it were true and see what happens. Change is only possible in the here and now, and the way to create change is by acting in the here and now as if a different world existed. For example, act as if the world you want to create is already here. And the funny part about this is, which is something I've heard or read or something else quite a time ago, and this is something that really stayed in my mind and sticked to myself and to my way of living actually, that the brain actually can't decide what you're thinking or what reality is like. So therefore, if you're actually really thinking like, okay, the here and now is actually my dream world and this is what I've always wanted, then your brain actually thinks that it is the truth, that it is reality, and because you're thinking it. And I think this some kind of is an adaptation or modified version of that, or just some kind of explained version of that. And it is interesting. I kind of felt, obviously I tried it out, and I don't know. The thing is, I just tried something out. Just try out to think that you're actually smiling in reality, and just feel now if this is something changing your body. Because all the time when I'm smiling, something in my chemistry, I don't know how, something changes. I kind of feel just better because of this fucking motion. I don't know why, but because I'm only smiling, it's just letting me feel a little better. There's some energy going up in my body. I don't know if this is normal. I hope. But yeah. So Gray explains that double loop learning is a fundamental part of testing new ideas, particularly those that you would usually ignore as they aren't within your current bubble. He emphasizes that you don't need to believe that something is true before you test it. You can have almost no faith in an idea and still test its validations. I think I will, I will just finish this one, because we're actually not that much in actually, it's actually only 30 minutes only, but that's definitely okay. Disrupting your double loop learning. And practice 8, make sense with stories. Gray emphasizes the benefits of stories for helping you make sense of the world and the people within it. Someone sharing a story is actually giving you a bit of an insight into their life experiences and their beliefs, particularly their beliefs about the specific experience. Not only are you gaining important insight, but you are developing a relationship with someone, building rapport and moving towards being able to collaborate together. It is also an important aspect of relationship management. People like to be heard, feel understood, and feel important. When you ask to hear a story from someone and give them your full attention, they immediately feel as if they are someone that matters to you. Yeah, it would make sense because you're actually giving them time and giving them attention. No one else. You are then the only person in their fucking world they are giving their attention towards. So if you have beliefs that you want to share, beliefs that you think may change the world for the better, the way to help those beliefs take flight is to share them as stories. Listen to the stories someone tells, notice the stories they respond to most positively, and you will begin to understand their beliefs and their bubble. Practice 9, evolving. The final practice is all about evolving yourself and embracing change. Gray explains that it is very common to be afraid of change and to feel like it's constantly attacking us. We feel as if we don't have control over change, and that scares us. I think it's definitely true that people just are scared when they are not in control of something. However, Gray emphasizes the importance of embracing change in order to open yourself up to fresh opportunities. This is something I definitely struggle with, and this is something that I totally have to work on myself on, because I hate to have change in my life. If it's in terms of people that I haven't spent too much time with ask me if I want to do something with them, I will probably just say no. I do not know. It is a hard question. It is a pretty difficult one, and it is pretty difficult for me as well, because even though I just pretty much know that this opportunity or this certain thing or activity that I'm going to do will actually either benefit me or will just make me happy, or it's just something that I'm not like, I don't want to do it, I will still say no, because it's just me, because I just want to be, I would just want to be doing what I'm always doing, quite. And this is something I do really have to change up, because I understand that this is really I'm limiting myself, definitely. So liminal thinking is a way of navigating change by opening the door to ambiguity and uncertainty, recognizing that there can be no real creation without some destruction, a kind of urban renewal program for the mind. So the kind of word that I wasn't able to pronounce was ambiguity. I don't know what it means, but I could actually... is it from ambitious? Ambivalence? Oh. I actually, no joke, it was in an English text that I've been reading today in school, or I had to read today in school. Ambiguity. Yeah, I'm quite always, today I've actually been talking to a colleague about having a thesaurus or a dictionary, whatever you want to call it. I think it's the same, isn't it? And, using your mobile phone to just, get some vocabulary you don't know, just get a translation you didn't know. And I'm like, I quite feel like, okay, I understand why people want you to use a dictionary, because it, has emotion in it. You're just, having to search for the word, and it just takes up a little bit more time. And therefore, at my point of view, it's just true for me. You can definitely remember the words better than if you're just, going to your phone, translating it, seeing the word, and then saying like, okay, I understand it. And the thing is, I'm just only talking about the medium. I'm not even talking about, the information itself, and this is the problem, because only, being like, okay, this is the medium, and therefore this is good and this is bad, or the other way around, is just wrong, because the medium doesn't have anything to do with the information given. And therefore, I'm also thinking like, okay, and this is something that my colleague said, just looking up in your phone or on your phone, because it's way faster, and just writing it down afterwards would be a good idea, because you're actually having the motion again, and you're having a little bit more time again. But yeah, so the conclusion and the conclusion and the key takeaways. Liminal thinking is the art of creating change by understanding, shaping, and reframing beliefs, which is totally important. Beliefs shape everything, totally. Beliefs are not reality, they are something you hold in your mind on an individual level. They are not fact. To practice liminal thinking, you need to understand that there are many things that may seem obvious to you, but these things are only obvious because of your past experiences and perspectives. Experiences, attention, theories, and judgments all contribute to creating your beliefs. A learning loop is something that aids our effectiveness. A cycle of needs, thoughts, and actions is on a continuous loop, providing continuous feedback. From this loop, our behaviors and beliefs are established. And beliefs can be limiting, which is why liminal thinking is so critical, as it allows you to acknowledge which beliefs are limiting you and encourages you to look for new opportunities and possibilities. We work together to establish a belief bubble. This bubble essentially ensures that our current beliefs are protected and ignores the existence of different beliefs. Testing and validating new ideas is a critical component of liminal thinking. In order to take on the beginner's mind, you need to be curious, open, and eager, and you need to be looking for opportunities to learn and develop yourself further, which is definitely the truth. It is important at my point of view. Emotional needs are the very center of our beliefs that transform into habits and actions. It's important to consider different perspectives and points of view when you consider any ideas or situation. Aim to understand the hopes, dreams, fears, and frustrations of other people. Doing this will uncover opportunities that you may never have considered. And solutions often lie in the distribution of routine. If you start to do things differently, you will be freed to view a problem in a new light. And the last one, if you don't invite change into your life, you're leaving yourself no room to grow or develop. Yeah, totally. And then there is also a part about, I will just go ahead with the action steps first and then go about the further readings, because you might be interested in books that are quite similar to this. So aim to understand that what may seem obvious to you may not be to others, and that's definitely the truth. Remember that your own beliefs are made up of your past experiences. Be critical of your own beliefs and acknowledge which ones are limiting you. Learn to test ideas even if they seem crazy to you or contradict everything you think you already know. Yeah, this, first of all, or just if you just read it the first time, it quite feels like it doesn't make any sense because you're actually just, hurting your whole system. But the thing is, if you don't know that your whole system is actual shit and crap, then you will totally just see something else and be like, okay, you can actually evaluate it and be like, my old system, was it good or was it bad? Or is this new system better or worse than, my old one? Always consider other people's points of view and perspectives when approaching a new idea. Learn not to be afraid of change, embrace the opportunity for new discoveries, and download the complete book on Amazon. The further reading. If you enjoyed this book, then definitely check out Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And I think I've actually been talking about it on the podcast as well, but I'm not sure. This is a great read for anyone who is interested in psychology and the process of thought. Kahneman analyzes two modes of thought, which is System 1 is fast, instinctive, and emotional, and System 2 is slower, more deliberative, and more logical. It examines emotional thoughts versus more logical thought and will literally change the way you think. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill examines the psychological power of thought and the brain in the process of furthering your career for both monetary and personal satisfaction. Originally published in 1937, this is one of the all-time self-classics and a must-read for investors and entrepreneurial types. I didn't like it, by the way. Mindset, actually what I've been talking about in this episode, by Carol Dweck is a psychological examination of two different mindsets, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. She discusses how these come into play and how they affect our lives. Dweck's book goes into detail about how mindsets can be applied to all areas of life, from schooling, work, relationship, and parenting. At the end of each chapter, Dweck has leading questions and tips on how you can grow your own mindset. A must read for anyone looking to expand themselves and grow and learn. And Guidelines, which is actually the book of the author of this summary, which is pretty much a summarized version of I think 33. Yeah, it's actually it's actually typed there. 33 best-selling self-help books. And it is available as an 18-page ebook and or 150-minute audiobook. Yeah, great. And has 31 rules or guidelines in it. So 31 rules of the best self-help books. And I actually think it costs $14 or euro, which is, it's basically something like the same, actually. And the whole worth of all the books that are pretty much in this one book or in this ebook or in this, I don't know if it is actually a book, but let's say ebook. The actual worth of all the other books that are just combined and in this ebook are $300, as I remember correctly, because I've just looked it up once and shown it to you once, because I quite think I'm using the platform, I'm using the summaries, and I can definitely say that, and I'm not getting anything paid or something. Is just I think it's should be the case, and I'm not even a VIP member or something like that. But yeah, with this being said, I'm pretty happy that this episode did go so well. It was incredible. I think everything went well. The informations were good. I could provide, I think, a great portion of value. But yeah, so I hope you have success, wealth, health, happiness. I hope you're giving back something, and yeah, I do also hope that you just be a bit conscious about your legacy, and just pretty much keep attention to your legacy and try to be happy, and try to be grateful, and try to be nice to other people, and treat them with respect, and yeah, all these great things like yeah. So with that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I love you. Thank you for listening. I tend to forget to saying this, but it is important, and it is I'm fucking appreciating it. So see you the next time.